Hey everybody, Clay Archer, CEO, DPC Technology, and I've got a fun one. Today we're going to compare the UniFi 5G Max and UniFi 5G Backup. You may have seen my video covering the UniFi 5G Backup. I'll put a link down below if you missed that one. But I got a lot of questions after that about the differences between the UniFi 5G Max and the UniFi 5G Backup. So we're going to dive into the differences between the two, and I'm going to do quite a bit of testing. And I want to point out here that my 5G experience may be different than yours, and so I'm going to hold it all consistent to this test. So the 5G Backup and the 5G Max will be using the same SIM card, the same service, placed in the same location in my condo, but the results of my testing may be different than the results of your testing in your location. So with that, I'm also testing these on a UCG fiber. I can only have one of these connected at a time, so I'll do one all the way through the testing, and then I'll do the other one all the way through the testing, and then we'll come back and we'll compare the differences. I'll also leave chapter markers down below so you can jump back and forth through the testing and find what you're looking for. The ultimate goal is to find out which one is right for you. So let's dive into the specs here real quick and see the main headline differences. They're very similar. They both come with a stand. They both come with a wall mount, and they come with the ability to stick the unit to a window if that's what you so choose. Both units are very attractive, and my gold standard there is kind of, will my wife let me leave these in the living room? And they both passed that test. So I will say one thing on the UniFi 5G Max, it's $399 versus the $99 on the backup. That is kind of the headline difference there. You know, what am I getting for that $300? Obviously, the 5G backup is a much smaller looking unit. I'll say one other thing about the 5G Max. If I was doing it, I probably would get the outdoor. If you have the ability to mount this on your roof or on the exterior of your building, I do think you're going to get better coverage. And if you're able to put it on a pole, obviously you're looking for 5G coverage, and the higher the better probably in most situations. So that is an option there, whereas the 5G backup only has the one form factor there. The real big difference here is the 5G red cap. This is a reduced capacity 5G radio, whereas the 5G Max has a full capacity 5G radio, meaning it's using all that 5G has to offer. So those are the main differences, really just size and form factor in that red cap versus the full 5G. Now, in theory, this 5G red cap is just meant for backup, just meaning, hey, my internet goes down, I just want to maintain my connectivity. Should be a robust and solid connection. And the 5G Max should have enough speed and connectivity that it could possibly be your primary internet WAN. But let's jump in and put those assumptions to the test. I've got my UCG fiber here going, and I've got the 5G Max attached as my secondary WAN here. You can see here it says T-Mobile USA. I'm using a Google Fi unlimited SIM card here. And like I said in my 5G backup video, I was able to add an unlimited data only card to my Fi plan for roughly an extra $20 a month. So that's a really good value for that uncapped data SIM. But with that, let's go ahead and click speed test here. And I'm gonna run a speed test on this really quickly. Now I'll also do some overlays. I've been testing this quite a bit for the last couple of days here, and I'm ranging somewhere between 300 megabits per second on down to, like right now, it's running at 150 megabits per second. And up, I've been running somewhere between 25 and 35, which for me, it's running plenty fast. Like I said in my previous video, I live in a high-rise building. I'm on the 10th floor, but we do have aluminum metal panels on the front of our building. But like I said in the beginning, your mileage may vary. You may get way better, you may get way worse. The one decent way to know if you're going to get good 5G or not is just, use your phone to see what kind of coverage you're getting in the area. If your SIM is coming from the same provider, you should get similar, if not better experience using the UniFi device here, especially as I mentioned, if you put it outside with the outdoor unit or on a pole. So let's go ahead and fire up and try and do a failover here. So I'm gonna have Margaret go ahead and pull the internet now, and I'm on a Teams call with Marty and Christy here. You'll see that really quickly it went to hold on, and then it popped right over. So now we're on the T-Mobile. You can see Marty moving, and Marty, say something.
Something?
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. And I'm having Margaret replug it back in. Then you'll see, that's pretty typical. It usually goes maybe 2 or 3 seconds. It'll give me the hold. And then on the way back, it will do the same where it gives me a quick hold. In the meeting, you can see it's now seeing the internet there. I believe they froze. Yep, they'll go on hold. And then it pops right back in. So Marty, say something. Something? Okay, give me one more second here. Something. The internet is still not saying it's fully back there. Wait until that's going fully green there. And that's pretty typical for me. This is the 5G Max. That's been pretty typical of my experience there. Yeah, so now you see it's green there. We got no holds. So basically, if you're on a call, it drops for maybe 2 or 3 seconds, puts you on hold, and then comes right back, and the same way on the other way. Thanks, Marty. I'll call you guys in a few minutes when I do the other one. All right, I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to plug in the other unit, and I will be back for the second part. All right, so we're back up. I removed the 5G Max, and I re-adopted the 5G backup. You actually have to remove it and add it. Like I said before, you can't have 2 of these 5G secondary WANs on at the same time. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go into the 5G backup here, and I will run the ISP speed test. All right, so you can see here on the speed test, we're getting 16, 17 megabits down, and we're getting about 6 megabits up. So people going, oh, that's not very much throughput. It's not that much, but let's jump on a Teams call real quick. Back again. You're on live on the interwebs. All right, so we just pulled them. I'm gonna get a quick hold here, and then they're back. Christy, say something.
Something.
All right, so I am now on the red cap. You can see, I'll go ahead and make this big. Margaret, you can go ahead and plug that back in. You can see I've got fine video quality. Audio is fine. You guys want to say anything?
A little something to the camera.
Oh, a little something to the camera. All right, and so she's plugging it back in. We probably just lost them for a second. It's going to hiccup. And then they're back. And now we're back on 5G again, or we're back on Comcast again. So very similar response, very similar video quality there. I don't know that you're really going to notice the difference very much at all on Teams. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. So like I've been doing lately, I had Claude throw up a Excel spreadsheet here of the differences between the two. Obviously, the main one's the price here. The $300 price difference is quite a bit. Like I said in my 5G backup video, if you just need a backup to stay on a Zoom call and be able to work if your primary internet goes down, the $99 5G backup has been more than enough for me. It's more than enough to run a line of business software, answer my emails, get on a Zoom call, that kind of stuff. But if you're really trying to run your network and do everything as normal, stream Netflix and have 2 or 3 people on, or if you're a business where there's 10 people that are going to be hitting it at the same time trying to do a Zoom call, then I think the price of the 5G Max or the 5G Max Outdoor is probably worth it. Obviously, they were using 5G RedCap versus the full 5G. Your rated speeds are here, but I had Claude go out and kind of scrape and see what people are saying they're getting in the real world. And this is what Claude came back with. Those are pretty consistent with me. I am getting more up than this, and I'm probably getting a little less down than this on the backup. And I can hit near 300 megabits per second, but it's only certain times a day. And that may just be where I am. And I'm getting a little bit more than this on up speeds here as well. And that may just be the tower that I'm hitting or the time of day that I'm doing the testing. Is it primary capable? I really definitely would not run the 5G backup as my primary. It's perfectly good as a WAN failover, but not my primary. And also, I would be running the 5G Max as my primary WAN. It's sort of a last resort. If you've got an internet provider available where you are, I think that may be a more stable and a better option. Although if you're trying to save a bunch of money, you could buy this for $399 and run the Google Fi plan that I'm on and have really decent internet for $20 a month. That is an option. I'm sure some people will try that. For me, that's not really an option, but I do think that is viable. It's got 2 SIM cards versus 1 SIM card. You can see other than dual SIMs, the rest of them are pretty similar there. And I agree with Claude's summary here of who this is best for. This really is a home unit where, you're just looking for a cheap, reliable safety net, and it's going to be overkill for most homes. And, for small businesses, this will just really just be a lifeline. It would only be if there was 1 or 2 users on it, but I would recommend the 5G Max and definitely the 5G Max Outdoor if you can mount it outside. The one thing I have not covered here is SIMs and carriers. Obviously I use Google Fi and I can tell you that worked just fine for me, but obviously people watch these videos all over the world. In your region, things may be different and they change from time to time. You can see on the website right now, different carriers are listed, but I would recommend for either unit that you check out store.ui.com and make sure the unit supports the carrier you intend to use. So the good, the bad, and the ugly, and which unit is right for you. I'll say the good is how easy it is to set this up. It's easy, one click, you adopt, it's just automatically sets up and works. If you saw my 5G backup video, you may have seen that I had a little bit of a delay coming back from a failover. To fix that, I actually changed my DNS to 1.1.1.1 and 8.8.8.8. Instead of having Comcast auto-assign my DNS, it's always DNS. That's a little cheat code. I also turned off speed testing. If you have any questions about it failing over or whatever, please put those down below and I'll help you troubleshoot that if you do have those kind of issues. So the bad, I don't necessarily know that it's all that bad, but obviously the red cap on the 5G backup is pretty slow. And so if you're looking to run Netflix on it or that kind of stuff, for $99, you're not going to get that. On the flip side, it is a smaller unit. It's a really nice unit. And at $99, it's not that much of a financial investment. One other bad I would say, and really it's not a criticism, is that $399 is a bit of an investment for the 5G Max. It would be nice if it was less expensive, but it's not, and it really works and does what it's going to do. So if you're a home user, $399 is a lot. If you're a small business, to have a backup for $399, it's not that much. So you kind of have to look at it from which angle you're coming at. And the great news is there really is no ugly on this. I think both of these units have done a really nice job. They're doing what they're intended to do, and they do exactly what they say they are going to do. So I really think these are two great units. If you're a small business, I think go ahead and spend the $399. I'll also opt for the outdoor unit, put it as high as possible. If you have a window right by your tech closet, maybe you don't need to do that, and the indoor one would be fine. The other use case for the Max is if that you are a power user at home and you really need the extra horsepower, meaning you're trying to stream, or it's very important that you have high bandwidth at all times, then the $399 is probably worth the investment. But for 95% of the people at home who are just trying to work from home and make sure that when the Comcast or their primary internet goes down, they have a backup plan, I think the 5G backup is a wonderful option at $99. And if you can get the right plan, like for me on Google Fi, it was only $20 a month. And for $99 one time to buy the equipment, I think it's a really good investment. And it saved my bacon a few times when I would have been out otherwise. So what do you think? I'd love to hear any questions or comments down below. As always, please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video.